Welcome to a whole new series on the channel featuring tons of product, tons of Yu-Gi-Tubers with an £80 budget every month and a tournament against these Yu-Gi-Tubers. Welcome to the Sealed Only League. Hello guys, Rollback1 here and welcome to episode 8 of the Sealed Only League. And in today's episode, we've got quite a few things that we've got to do. As always, we've got to, 1, open some amazing product to show you guys on the channel. 2, tell you about the matches we had in the last month of the Sealed Only League. And 3, play some games. But the reason why we're obviously in this little segment at the beginning is because I just wanted to give you a little update about the Sealed Only League. Pretty much, the Sealed Only League had one slight change last month into how the tournament system was actually working. So instead of actually playing a system where you go against specific people, the system did slightly change where now we've got to go out of our way and we've got to go ahead and find other people to play against in the Sealed Only League who are part of the Sealed Only League. So we've got to go out, ask them if they're able to play a match, and hopefully we can do that. Now, this can lead to a couple of things. 1, I can have way more matches in the Sealed Only League giving you more content, and 2, which sadly happened last month, people not being able to play because of time frames and people not really having the time to play. But nonetheless, we did get some matches. I do have some games to talk about for this episode of the Sealed Only League, and let's actually go into that segment with that little update in mind and tell you guys how last month of the Sealed Only League went in the tournament. Let's go. So guys, April's tournament for the Sealed Only League. Now, this month, sadly, I was only able to actually get 2 rounds for the Sealed Only League because, well, Robert didn't really have enough time to actually play as many people as he wanted. Either people were unable to play me when I was actually available after work or during the weekends, or they just weren't able to actually play me because either they were too busy or their time schedules didn't really go out. But nonetheless, we did get 2 rounds for this episode of the Sealed Only League, so let's go ahead and talk about them. So, the first match that we actually played was against Frostler, who was actually a really fun opponent to play against. He was playing his Thunder Dragon strategy against my obviously updated Machina Train strategy, where I was playing new train monsters in with the Machina cards to try and basically make it easier for me to OTK or kill my opponent a lot quicker while controlling the game. And he was playing his Thunder Dragon strategy, which actually was pretty interesting to see. Now, he sadly didn't have Thunder Dragon Titan in his main deck, so he wasn't really able to use Thunder Dragons to the best of their abilities right now, seeing as they don't have the Fusion Thunder Dragon Colossus. But even though he didn't have those in his deck, he was still doing very, very well. He was able to go ahead and make big Thunder Dragon monsters such as Raw and Dark and maybe Thunder Dragon at times to be able to build some sort of board, establish monsters on the board, and be able to prevent me from playing the game to an extent, while also being able to set up back throw, which kind of hindered me at times because at one point he had Waking the Dragons, where I actually vanished with a Cosmic Cyclone, and I think one other time with a Nightmare Phoenix, and that actually did cause a lot of issues for me. But luckily at times like that I did have an Ash Blossom, so it wasn't really the end of the world because he was able to do that. But if I didn't have that Ash Blossom, it would have been a big problem. It was a really fun game to play against Frostler. He was a really good guy to play against. So for round 2, we played against Fingers Crossed again, and honestly, Fingers Crossed was a great person to play against again. As always, every time I seem to play Fingers Crossed, I just have a lot of fun playing the game and have a lot of enjoyable matches against him because he's just a really fun guy to play against and a really fun guy to talk to. But nonetheless, enough talking about him, let's actually get into the match itself. So, obviously, we were playing Machina again, and we used our Machina strategy against his Cyber Dragon Drytron strategy. And this month, it was actually a lot harder than it was in the first time we played. This time, he changed his build completely, going more for a pure Drytron strategy while still using some Cyber Dragon cards such as Cyber Emergency and Cyber Dragon Core to actually search the Cyber Emergency. Now, in game 1, he was able to set up a board with a Cyber Dragon Seeger and also a Herald of Perfect Ultimateness, but I was able to play around through the negates because he only was able to set up a board with 2 negates, and I was able to play through those 2 negates, being able to set up, I believe, a Citadel and a Fortress on the board to be able to play around it. And after that, it just came to the point where I was able to play through his board to a point where I can just go for game. But that was game 1. Game 2, though, was actually really, really hard, and I can say it simply as this. All he did in that game was he summoned his big Drytron ritual monster, Drytron Draconoids, which I am unable to target with any of my monster effects. Citadel cannot destroy because it's got bigger attack points than it, and I just really had no way to get over this. So pretty much how that game went was he summoned his Draconoids, he just kept attacking with it, and I was unable to get around it, just trying to make monsters that could potentially get around it, such as Fortress, which wasn't able to target it, going able to try and draw spells and trap cards that can get around it, or just anything along those lines lines, and also him having the additional effect that just said, oh, I can target my opponent's cards and send it to the graveyard, just made it almost impossible for me to out the Draconoids, meaning I was unable to win game 2. So in game 3, it was actually a lot of a different match. In game 3, pretty much what happened was, on turn 1, I was able to set up a pretty decent board of having a Machina, Gear Frame, and a Machina Air Raider on the board, giving me ways to summon Machina monsters from my deck, while also having 2 face-down cards to be able to somewhat play around my opponent. But what happened that game was pretty simple as well. What happened was, he ends up Raigeki-ing me, and from that Raigeki, he was able to do quite a lot, simply because he was able to use his Raigeki, destroying both of my monsters. I did use the Air Raider to summon a Machina Fortress from the deck so I can have it in the graveyard, so if I do draw something that I can just discard for its effect, then I would be able to actually play the game from there on. But he goes ahead and goes into his Drytron plays, searching ritual spells, summoning Drytron monsters, and ending up summoning a Drytron Quadratids. I know I probably butchered the name, but that's how I'm going to say it, so I'm just going to call it Quad. Now, with the Quad, he had a big 4k beat stick on the board, but he wasn't able to actually kill me that turn, putting me on to about 4k life points if I remember correctly. Now, when he did this though, he chose not to use the Quad's effect that would allow him to destroy all my back row, and he said specifically to me the reason why he wasn't using this effect was because he was scared of me having a Solemn Strike. Smart, because I did use Solemn Strike earlier on in the duel, and pretty much from that point on in the game, what happened was I kind of just drew a monster. It was a way to get the fortress on the board. I discarded it and summoned the fortress. I believe it was a citadel that I drew as well, so I did have the citadel in graveyard at that point, or it was the train monster to be able to add a Machina from my graveyard to my hand. I can't remember the exact one, but it was pretty much from that point on where we go ahead and add the Gear Frame to hand, or we go ahead and send the citadel to graveyard so we can go ahead and summon the fortress, and then we go ahead and put it on board so we can't die. Now, the thing what happened from this point onwards is he was thinking if it was worth it for him to attack with his quad into my fortress, and he chose not to. So on my turn, what I basically did was I attacked the fortress into his quad, destroyed my fortress, used the Citadel Graves effect to summon it to the board, so I had some sort of a Raigeki for my opponent's turn, and also chose to use said Raigeki because I could just destroy the 2 Drytron monsters that he could go ahead and summon with the Quadris. Following this later on down the line, he goes into the Draconoids again, the ritual monster, where it kind of comes to a point where it's very hard for me to actually out this, but he chooses to go into the battle phase, and the only reason I was actually able to win that match is because he attacked with his Draconoids into my fortress that was on the board, and I used Lost Wind in the damage step to negate its effects and half its attack because of the Draconoids can be targeted by spell and trap cards. So that game was actually really good. That whole match was really good. Fingers crossed is always fun to play against, and seeing as that match was really close, like honestly it could have gone either way. I would have 100% lost as well if it wasn't for me having that Lost Wind in my spell and trap card zone, and if he just Harpy's Feather Dusted earlier on, it wouldn't have been there. But that was a really fun game. It was a really cool match to play against, and that was pretty much how that went. But guys, that was the tournament section of the Sealed Only League this month. I know it was only 2 games, but sadly the people that I tried to play against, I literally asked everyone, or tried asking everyone, but everyone was either too busy, they had plans, they couldn't play on the weekend, they couldn't play on weekdays, and it just got to the point where it really was impossible for me to get the 3rd game. So hopefully this month we'll be able to get more games than we did last month, because I really want to get more games, I really want to play against more people, and I really do enjoy playing the Sealed Only League content. But hey, that's how it be. But anyway guys, that is the Sealed Only tournament section of this video. Let's go ahead and go over to the opening section of this video, where we're going to be opening another Duel Devastator for the last one, so we can upgrade our Sealed Only deck just that much more. This is the opening portion of the Sealed Only episode, and obviously this is the first episode of the Sealed Only League for a new month, so obviously every episode of the Sealed Only League where we have a new month, we have a new Lost Art to add to our Sealed Only collection, and this month's Sealed Only Lost Art that we are going to have is a Foolish Burial. Now, the reason that I've chosen Foolish Burial is because last month there was something that I realized very heavily, and that is Scrap Recycler isn't that good. It's not the best card for us to actually be playing in our Sealed Only strategy, so I chose, hey, why not cut the Scrap Recyclers for a bit, see what else we can do, and add a Foolish Burial instead. So Foolish Burial is basically going to be our new card that's going to allow us to send any of our Earth Machines to the graveyard, or any of our monsters that are in our deck to the graveyard, essentially to do various things. So Foolish Burial is going to be our Lost Art for this month, and that's why I've kind of chosen it. But now that you've seen that, let's go ahead and move that to the side and open up this month's product, which is Duel Devastator. Now, obviously, Duel Devastator Really good product, really great product, and a perfect product for the sealed only league because it gives us so many different things. It gives us hand traps, it gives us staples, it gives us so many different things. And we've already opened one of these for a sealed only episode. We opened 2 of them, and this month we're going to be opening our last one so we can get our last Ash Blossom, our last Effect Veiler, last of really everything that we could possibly want. So let's go ahead and open it up, see what cards we can get in there. Well, we already know pretty much what cards are in it, but there is some random things that you can potentially get as well because of there is actually random field centers you can get, which would be kind of cool to see what random field centers we can actually get for this sealed only league episode. Like, we've already got some, but it'd be kind of cool to see what we could get. Also, this is a really good product for other reasons too, whereas it doesn't just come with a lot of good staple cards, which are here, but it also comes with like this lovely little divider bit for like cards. So if you ever have this, you can use it, you can put your storage of stuff in here. It's a really good box just for storing cards in general, and I've actually put a lot of my sealed only collection into it as well, just so I can have a lot of nice storage. So just really good. Now these are the field centers that we've got, and I've got white stuff on my hand. Yeah, that's one of the things with this. The product, well, the packaging for this, the white stuff on the Konami plastic actually comes off and it gets all over your hands. So just one bad thing, but we're gonna actually leave this to last so we can go ahead and open this bit to just show you, just give you a quick look through of things that we can get. Seeing as we have already opened it, we don't really need to show too much. I just want to go through, give you a quick look again, show you what we get from the Duel Devastator box in terms of staples, and we'll go from there. And there's the little tab there which I've just missed, so let's go ahead and open this up and just show you quickly what you can get for those who don't actually know, or if you just missed some of the other episodes. If you have missed some of the other episodes, please go check them out. They are really good, and it gives you a lot of insight into the sealed only league as it is currently. But let's go ahead and show you guys what you can get. So just a quick rundown, you get really good stuff like Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. Just a really good card overall. It's a great stable card that can destroy face-up cards, so it's a good hand trap. You get Ghost Bell and Winter Cherries. I don't think this will ever be a good card in the sealed only league for us, but it's just a really good card overall. So great card to own and really good for the sealed only league. We also get Ash Blossom, which is honestly the best card in the sealed only league for us because it's just a really good card. I wanted the third for the sealed only league, and it's really good to actually get. We also get Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansions, which is an incredible staple card, which I don't think is really good for us right now in the sealed only league, but depending on what decks we go against and depending on who we play against, it could be a really good card, and I might consider siding it for this month of the sealed only league depending on. Ghostwood and Spooky Dogwood, just a really good card if you ever want to go into time. Like, you go into time, you drop this on the chain to a special summon, you gain life points. It's really actually nice. Red Blossom, this is actually a card that's exclusively in this set, and this is something that's actually pretty decent as well because you can discard it, banish spells and trap cards, and then special summon extra monsters to the field, which is nice. You also get really cool extra cards like Ally of Justice, Catasta, Bryonic, Memphis Horus, Black Rose Dragon, which not stuff that we've actually used for our sealed only league, but just really good. Clearwing Synchro Dragon, well, sorry, Fast Dragon, Starless Spark Dragon, Red Dragon Archfiend. If we ever need it, we can technically make it, so not bad. Trishula, we're never going to make it in our Machina strategy, but it's there. Vermilion Dragon Mech, just a really good card as well. Abyss Dweller, 101, Castel, Tornado Dragon, all cards that I believe we are currently running in our sealed only strategy. Good link monsters as well, like Underclock Taker, Lang Veronicus, just a generic link too. Gaia Saber, Decode Talker Extended, Triple Logical Bomber Dragon, Saruja Skull Dragon, a really good card as well. Other reprints such as like DD Crow, which is just like a really good reprint right now as well, just for the fact that you discard it, banish any card in our opponent's graveyard, which is just really good. Effect Veiler, just a really good staple card as well, just negate any monster effect. It's essentially the original Imperm, which is, if you can't afford Imperms, Effect Veiler is a great alternative. Gate Gut Blocker, Denko Sekka for any back row decks, just a really strong card. Inspector Border if you don't want people to have fun. Spell Canceller, just negate spells. Lancia, just a really good card right now in the sealed only league. Not the best. I would say its best option is to just discard it to chain to or turn the cogs invoke strategy, but just a really good card nonetheless. Vanity's Fiend, just a really good monster to summon. Majesty's Fiend as well, another really good monster to summon. No special summons, no monster effects, really good. Pankratops, you can only run one of it, but it's a really good card nonetheless and a nice staple. Gamma-Seal, Kaijus are always great. Mind Control, we love to steal our opponent's monsters. Wave Motion Cannon, we're not going to use it, but it was a decent reprint. Super Polymerization, really good reprint as well. Book of Eclipse, just set opponent's board. Sudden Graveyard, the spell version of Abyss Dweller, so not bad. Cosmic Cyclone, Called by the Grave, like Dimension Drift, like there's just so many, like D Barrier, Lost Wind, Heavy Storm Duster, Roll Decree, Anti-Spell Fragrance, there can only be one, Wiretap, Solemn Strike, Red Reboot. There are just so many good reprints in this set, and Duel Devastator, if you can ever get your hands on it and you're a new player, I would highly recommend that you get Duel Devastator. So that's all we really have for the opening section out like of the stuff we've already seen. Let's actually see what random field centers we get now, because I'm kind of curious what we're going to get. So obviously we get this one, which is the the new ghost monster, which was the ghost Red Blossoms from the Underroot. So that's actually kind of cool. We get that field center. I don't know if I got that one last time. I can't remember what ones I got. I believe I got the Ghost Ogre one, but the one that I would actually kind of like is just the Ash Blossom one, because I feel like the Ash Blossom one would be kind of cool to get. So we've got a Red Blossom Field Center. Oh, nice! We got it! We got the Ash Blossom Field Center. Nice. Now, the only other Field Center I think I would want from this is the Yugi Field Center, because you also get main protagonist monsters ones as well, and Ghost Reaper, not bad, not bad. That's a pretty cool one. And we also got, okay, it's Seto Kaiba boy right here, but not bad for the field centers we got. I would say it's a 9, you know what, just the Ash Blossom alone makes it like a 7 for me. Like, I guess Kyber and Ash Blossom are pretty cool field centers to get, but nonetheless, guys, that is the opening portion of this episode of the Sealed Only League. Let's go over to the deck profile portion so you can see what changes we're actually making to our list for the Sealed Only League. Sealed Only League deck time. Let's go ahead and show you guys the changes that we have made, because I feel like the changes that we made in the deck here is going to make it a lot better, and we're going to explain that through this deck profile portion of the Sealed Only League. So let's go ahead and move the side deck and the main deck to the side, and I'll go ahead and show you the updates slash changes slash the current list of our Sealed Only deck. So without further ado, let's go into it. So starting off, we play 2 Machina Citadel. He is our Raigeki. He is obviously a 2 of. You don't want to be playing more of him in your main deck because, well, 1, he's just a dead draw in hand most of the time if you don't have a way to get him in the graveyard, and 2, he can't be normal summoned, so you have to special summon him through his effect, which can only be summoned from the graveyard. So you only want to play 2 of him, but remember, he is the boss monster, so he is very important because whenever a machine monster is destroyed, you summon it to the board, and you can also Raigeki your opponent's board for any monster really with less than 3k attack, or any monster that you destroy with his effect. So you want to be playing 2 of him. He is a brick, but he's also really strong, so you want to play 2 because you don't really want to see him. It's kind of like the Silk mentality in an Altergeist. Next, we play 3 Machina Air Raider. Absolutely insane card. You have to be playing 3 of this in the Machina strategy, because what this card does is it destroys machine monsters to summon Machina monsters from the deck with an equal or lower level from your deck. So you could summon in a Radiator, you could summon a Possessed Storage to revive from the grave, you can pretty much summon any Machina monster from your deck, and this card just makes the deck even more consistent and a lot more powerful. So 3 of that. We also play 2 Machina Radiator. I chose to cut this down to 2 in this version of the list because, well, 1, it's not the best monster in your hand, because obviously only on turn 1, it only revives monsters from the graveyard, so you can only target a Machina monster, well, machine monster you control, and revive a Machina monster from your graveyard. But if it doesn't really have any in the graveyard, the card isn't going to be that good. So I've chosen to put it down to 2. I feel like the ratio at 2 is a lot better than what it was at 3, and we'll see how the changes differ when we actually do some more testing with it, but I feel like 2 is going to be a lot better in the long run, just to make more room for more consistent cards as well. Next, we play 3 Machina Gearframe. He's the Stratos. You play him at 3. He searches any Machina monster from your deck, such as Citadel, Fortress, Irradiator, Air Raider. You play him at 3. He's a staple in the deck, and he's just really, really strong overall. Next, we play 2 Flying Pegasus. Now, the reason why we're playing 2 Flying Pegasus still is very, very simple. This card is basically just a monster reborn on summon, and also allows us to go into our rank 10 plays a lot easier. So when this card is summoned, you go ahead and summon a machine monster from your graveyard, and then you can target a machine monster you control and turn this monster's level and that monster's level into the same level. So if you summon a level 10, you can go ahead and turn both of them into level 10. If you summon a level 8, you can turn them both into a level 8. If you turn them into level 4, you can both turn them into level 4. Basically, what this card says is that you can go ahead and make a lot of your rank XCs plays and just make it a lot easier to go into your train plays, make it a lot easier to go into any of your extra deck plays, and just make it overall easier to OTK. So this is a standard 2 of. I might bump it up to 3 depending on different ratios and how I feel about different things in testing this deck more, but right now I feel like 2 is the perfect number for this card, and it just seems to be really, really good overall in my opinion. We are also playing, though, 2 Machina Possessed Storage. The reason we're playing 2 Possessed Storage is because of Air Raider and the fact that we can just go ahead and pop Air Raider or another Machina monster such as Gear Frame to summon the Machina Possessed Storage from the deck to revive one from the graveyard. And seeing as it's a main deck monster, I felt like when it was at 1, it was a little lackluster and we weren't really seeing it as much as I really wanted it to. So I chose to play it back to 2, and I feel like in this build where you're just going to be reviving your monsters constantly, going into XC's plays if you revive the Gear Frame, and just overall having a lot of different plays you can actually do with your Machina cards, I feel like 2 is the perfect number. Air Raider being able to summon it from deck is absolutely insane, so 2 is the perfect number in my personal opinion for this card. We are still only playing the 1 Super Express Bullet Train. I really wish we could play more of this, but sadly we only have the 1, and because of that we have to stick with the 1. Now this card is actually really insane though, because 1, it's a level 10 monster that we can special summon from our hand for free if we control an Earth Machine monster, so if you have a Citadel in this you get to go into rank 10 plays. But 2, which is one of the really good things about this card as well, is if it sends the graveyard during the end phase, you get to go ahead and add 1 Earth Machine monster from your graveyard to your hand. So you could be adding your Gear Frame, you could be adding your Air Raider, you could be adding anything back from your graveyard to your hand to essentially give you more plays for following turns. So just a really good card, definitely a staple in the deck, and I will probably be trying to go for another one in later sealed only openings, but right now we only have the 1, so we've got to stick with what we got. Continuing on though, we also play the 1 Fortress Steel. It's a one-of. I don't see it as more than a one-of. Every time I play this card as more than one, it just feels wrong. So we only want to play 1 of it because pretty much it just says discard a machine monster from your hand to special summon it from the graveyard or your hand with a level equal or higher than itself. So just discard itself and another machine monster to get a free special summon from it, or just go ahead and discard, say, your Super Express Bullet Train to go ahead and special summon it from the graveyard. It's purely there for that, and if your opponent just does somehow kill it via battle, then you just get to pop a card as well, which is really nice. We also do still play 1 Scrap Recycler. I chose to put this down to 1 for a very simple reason. We've already got a lot of really good normal summons, and I realized that later on that Scrap Recycler isn't as powerful as we actually thought. Seeing as 1, yes, it can give us an instant Citadel for the fact that we go ahead and normal summon it, send it to the grave, and crash it into a monster, but the card doesn't do a lot on its own, and if we do open the card and we have no real way to deal with our opponent's board outside of like Citadel, then sure, it's great, but outside of that, it doesn't really do a lot. So I chose to cut it down to 1. It's still a free normal summon send any machine from your deck to the graveyard, which is really strong, but I just felt like at 1 it's going to perform a lot better, and you kind of have to play it as a one-of as well, seeing as there's just so many normal summons that 1 is just the correct number in my opinion. So 1 Scrap Recycler, I feel like it's going to do a lot better. But for hand traps, we are now playing 3 Ash Blossom in Joyous Springs. Obviously, we got the 3rd Ash Blossom, so we're going to put it in the main deck. And we are also playing 3 Effect Veiler to just go ahead and stop any main monster effects and just prevent our opponent from playing the game, pretty much. So Effect Veiler, negate effects, pretty good. These are the best hand traps that I have currently, so I feel like we need to play 3 of each. If we can ever get Imperms, though, we'll probably be playing Imperms. So yeah, but those are all the main deck monsters. I feel like the main deck monsters are the correct ratios, but if you guys have anything you would like to change or think I could change to make it even better, please say in the comment section below, because we're trying to make this deck the best we possibly can, and I really want to win the Sealed Only League just to show that, yes, the Sealed Only League was good, and I was able to come out on top. So, guys, tell me your thoughts and opinions on the monsters, but let's go ahead and go on to the spell cards, though. So, for spells, we're playing 3 Machina Redeployment. I don't think I need to explain this card. It's basically a double rotor by discarding a Machina monster or a card from your hand to go ahead and add 2 Machina monsters or 2 Machina cards. So really insane card. It's double rotor. You got to play this at 3. It's a staple and allows you to get to most of your plays. We also play 3 Cosmic Cyclone, back row removal. There is a lot of back row in the Sealed Only League, so you really do have to play 3 Cosmic Cyclone to just kind of play around it. 1 Monster Reborn to have just that little extra bit of revival outside of our Possessed Storage and our Pegasus, so just another Monster Reborn. 1 Foolish Burial. The reason why we chose this card is kind of obvious at this point. Why we're playing the double Possessed Storage and the double Pegasus is because, well, if we open Foolish Burial and these 2, that's just infinitely free resources. We can just go ahead and summon the Pegasus to go ahead and summon one from the graveyard, and then go into an instant rank 10 play. Or we can send one to the graveyard, some normal summon Possessed Storage, and just go ahead and have that revive ability. So Foolish Burial is just really good because we can just send anything we want to the graveyard, pretty much to have either any XC's play that we want with the Pegasus, or any literal rank 10 play or Machina monster with the Foolish Burial. So card is absolutely insane. It's definitely a card that you want to be playing in the deck. So Foolish Burial, great. It's a guaranteed lost start that we had to get, and I feel like it's going to pay out so much. And then the last spell we're playing is one called By the Grave, just for hand traps and to banish like things that we don't want to deal with. So it's just a really strong card again. But those are the spell cards. Going into the traps though, we play free Machina Overdrive. Card's absolutely insane. Destroy a machine monster, summon any Machina from your deck. This can summon Citadel, this can summon Fortress, this can summon Air Raider, and also you can go ahead and banish it from the graveyard if you haven't used its effect that turn, and just go ahead and shuffle free machine monsters into your deck and draw one card. So it's just recyclability from your grave and banish, and it's just a free summon from the deck, which is absolutely insane. So we play free of this card. We also play free Solemn Strike, absolutely insane card, negates the monster effect, negates an inherent summon. No reason we're not playing this in the Sealed Only League, and is honestly really strong and has turned out really good every time we draw it. So free Solemn Strike. And then the last two cards we're playing in the main deck are two Lost Winds. I debated playing the third, but I felt like seeing as you can only target a special summon monster, I chose to actually just keep it at 2, and I feel like the ratio of 2 will be pretty good nonetheless. But that is the entire main deck of the deck. I feel like the main deck is pretty strong and will do us really well throughout the Sealed Only League this month, but obviously there's more stuff that we have to come as well that we can open and things we can change. But right now I feel like this list is really strong. But going on to the next thing that we're going to be looking at, which is the extra deck. The extra deck hasn't really changed very much. It's still just the Underclock Taker, the Amphilia, the Star Leader Dragon, the Ancient Gear Ballista, the Nightmare Phoenix, Nightmare Unicorn, Decode Extended, Topological Bomber Dragon, Abyss Dweller, Castel 101, Tornado Dragon, Dingirsu, Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon, number 81, and Libe. The extra deck really hasn't changed. Like, if you want any quick explanations on things, like, this is if we control 2 level 10s, we can just go ahead and special summon out the other one from our hand. This is to go ahead and decrease opponent's monsters to 0 by setting a spell, and this is to do the same if we got a big monster. Back row removal, main deck anything removal. Additional attacks if our opponent has something in the wrong column. Raigeki, stop graveyard, get rid of monster, get rid of back row, get rid of anything / protection, and then this is just our OTK package here. Like, there's not really much to say about the extra deck because it hasn't really changed, so the extra deck is pretty much just what it is. I'm not going to go too deep into that, but going on to our side deck though, it's pretty much the same, but there are a few changes. We still run the 1 Pankratops. It's just a really good card, being a free special summon from the hand, and also just being able to pop a card that our opponent controls is really good. We have bumped DD Crow now up to free because we got the 3rd DD Crow, so there's no reason not to play out free. Just being a free banish from the graveyard will interrupt with Drytron plays and also Invoked plays and Stoll plays, so just a really good card overall, so we want to be playing that at free. We're still playing 2 Spell Counselor in the side because, well, it just says no to all spells in the game, and being able to say something to like no to something like an Invocation or a Shadow Fusion, absolutely insane. So I feel like this is still a staple of 2 in the side deck. Free Vanity's Fiend, because I wanted to draw this card more, because stopping special summons in the Sealed Only League is really good. So free Vanity's Fiend, just normal summon it if our opponent doesn't have the out, well, they just lose the game. So free Vanity's Fiend, really strong. We're also playing free Dimensional Barrier, just because it stops ritual summons, it stops fusion summons, it stops XC summons, it stops anything from the extra deck summon, so it's just a really nice card there as well. So we wanted to play that free, and I feel like it's going to come in a lot more handy now as well, just so we can draw it more. And then finally, free Royal Decree for any of those trap decks out there, such as Joe's Zodiac deck or any back row decks that might appear going further into the Sealed Only League. But guys, that is the deck profile portion of the video though. This is what I've been thinking of. These are the changes that have been made to our Machina strategy. Tell me what your thoughts are on this in the comment section below as well, guys, before the little duel section that we're about to have. And I'd love to hear them, because there are so many different things we can actually do with this deck, and so many changes that we could potentially make, such product we can buy, that I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on them in the comment section below. But guys, now that we've shown off the deck, let's go ahead and go into the duel section, where you guys will see me play the deck and have it in action. So over to the duels. All right guys, so time for the duel part of this video. Let's see what we're going to be up against. Let's see if we can win. And we lost the rock paper scissors. Cool, but we've opened a pretty decent hand and we're forced to go first, so let's see what we're up against. So we're going to go ahead and start by normal summoning the Gear Frame, and we're going to use the Gear Frame's effect which will allow us to add one machine monster from our deck. But we do get Ghost Ogre. Now, I don't really care about getting Ghost Ogre here, I think. I think that's actually fine. So, we go ahead and get Ghost Ogre, and we're going to go ahead and grab a Air Raider. And we're going to use the Air Raider's effect to discard the Possessed Storage and summon it from the hand. Now, obviously this would have been a lot better if we didn't get Ghost Ogre, because then we'd be able to summon a Possessed Storage from the deck by killing our Machina Gearframe, but the Air Raider is good to have nonetheless. So, we're going to go ahead and set the Overdrive, and we're going to go ahead and set the Cosmic Cyclone, and we will pass turn there. So, pretty much we've got a free summon from deck, we've got Back Row Disruption, we've got a guaranteed Raigeki, and we've also got an Effect Veiler. So, not terrible hand against what our opponent could be playing. So, let's see what we're up against. And we're up against Cubics. Alright then. Interesting. So, Cubics can be number something from the cannot be specified in ways. You can affect this effect. This card can make a second attack. Okay. So, he summons the Cubic Lord. That's fine by me. So, let's see what he's going to do. He's going to summon the Cubic Vessel. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and Effect Veiler that because I don't want him getting a ton of free resources. So can I be special summoned by effect, unaffected by other monster effect activate effects, whose original attack is 3,000 or less. Okay. You see, this is gonna be a bit of a pain to get over, but it should be fine. Well, I'm obviously going to Cosmic Cyclone that. I'm not letting that resolve. Because that just gives this more attack points. I don't want it to have more attack points. So he does that. And then he can enter the main phase. He can enter the battle phase. That's fine. Okay, so he enters the battle phase. We're going to go ahead and we're going to use Air Raider effect in the battle phase, targeting itself. We're going to summon from our deck a Machina Fortress. And then we're going to go ahead and use our Overdrive to pop the Fortress. And we're going to summon out our Citadel. So now he's forced to either just go to end phase to deal us both 3k, or he can go ahead and crash the Cubic Lord into our Citadel and also attack me for 16. So he's going to choose to crash, which does make the most sense technically, so that's fine. Both die. I'll take 1600. And on next turn, I'll essentially have 2 draws because of I can just shuffle back 3 machine monsters with Machina Overdrive and get a draw and also get my normal draw turn. So not bad, not bad. We were able to play around that pretty well, I think. Really, I didn't expect to be playing Cubics though. This is actually kind of a nice surprise. So he goes in and sets 1. We draw for turn, and we drew an Air Raider. Now, obviously, I want to draw a card that will let me play the game. So we're going to go ahead and use our Machina Overdrive, and we're going to shuffle back the Air Raider, the Possessed Storage, and the Gear Frame. And we draw a Called by the Grave. Not the best card, but what we can actually do is we can discard the Air Raider to summon the Fortress. And this is why I put the Fortress on the board into play, because when you can't draw those big monsters and you only just draw like the Air Raiders or the Radiators, this is what the Fortress is there for. It's to be a body that you can summon for free. That's why the card is pretty decent. So we're going to go ahead and attack the Cubic Vessel though. He's going to go ahead and activate Cubic Ascension. So when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you special 1 Vajam Cubic Seed from your deck, and if you do, change the attack target to it. And perform damage calculation. If your opponent's life points are 2,000 higher than yours, you can banish this card from your graveyard, special 1 Cubic Seed from your deck. That's not very nice. That's not very nice at all. So that's pretty deadly, because now he's going to just be able to target this. Actually, no, because if he targets it, due to this effect, then I can go ahead and use the Fortress, right? Does this target? Does it target the monster? If this card is treated as a continuous... No, it doesn't target. You can place this card face up in your spell trap zone. Yeah, that actually is a bit annoying. It is treated as a continuous spell during your main phase. Damage, you can place one cubic counter on that monster. Monsters with a cubic cannot attack, also negate their effects. I mean, it's not the end of the world. It isn't the best, but it's not the end of the world. So we'll go ahead and set the cosmics. We'll set the Cooled by the Grave, and we'll see what our opponent has. So we've got the Cooled by. We can't attack over anything because of our fortress is currently affected by the Vijam. He used the Vijam. If this card is treated as a continuous spell card, during your main phase you can summon this card from your spell and trap card zone. So now he just gets the infinite Vijams, which isn't good, but he could actually go into link plays, I guess. So not bad, but we'll have to see what we can do. Like, what I really need to do right now is just draw a monster that I can play. Like, a Gear Frame would be perfect, I think. The Air Raider is not what we want to see. So we're going to have to just go past turn. Because, like, I can't do anything with the Fortress. Like, the Fortress is just sitting there as a big body right now. I can't attack with it because of the Jam token counter. So it's just, like, there's not much that I can actually do. So we go into the end phase. We draw for turn. Hopefully it's a monster. Scrap Recycler. That's actually a pretty good draw there. So what we're going to do is we're going to normal summon the Scrap Recycler. Going to use this effect. I would say this is a pretty grade A draw right now. We're going to use this effect to send the other Citadel to the graveyard, I think, actually. Or I could go ahead and send this. I believe during the end phase of the constant graveyard, so send from this turn. You can add one. No, I don't think that's the card that I really want to send. I feel like sending the Citadel is just better. So we'll send the Citadel to grave. We will then go into the battle phase. And we'll attack into this with our Scrap Recycler. Now, if he wants to prevent it, that's correct. If not, oh, okay. So he has a Dino Miscus. That stops that play then. Really, really not good for me. What did he discard? He's discarded a Cubic Seed. Well, in that case, I just end. So we'll pass turn there. He still has the Cubic Vijam, and he also has the Cubic Vessel. We have the Cold by the Grave, so we got pretty much ways to stop him from doing a lot of things. We need to draw something good here. Effect Veiler is not what I need to draw here. I could try and go into a link play, I suppose. But there's not really any links that I want to make, because I would rather just keep this on board, I think. Or actually, no. I could link to it into the Underclock Taker. Then I could summon back the Fortress from the grave, I guess. But then, no, it's better. I think it's better to just keep the Effect Veiler, because if he does draw another Vessel, then the Effect Veiler just prevents the Vessel from using its effects. So we'll go ahead and keep the Effect Veiler for now. Let's see. This is an easy matchup. This isn't an easy matchup at all. So he goes ahead and summons the Summoner Monk. If he goes ahead and uses Summoner Monk and discards a spell card, I'll go ahead and chain the Effect Veiler. So he discards a Twin Twister, so we're definitely Effect Veilering there. Deals with that 100%. And the question is he going to go to the end phase, or is he going to go for an Xyz play? Just goes to the end phase. Draw for turn, and we draw an Ash Blossom. I mean, we're drawing good cards, don't get me wrong, but they're not things that I want to be drawing. I want to be drawing something that will just allow me to play the game, like a Machina Gear Frame, a Machina Monster, just something that will allow me to play around this. Like, I can't do anything right now, and that's kind of like the issue we've got here. So, he's going to go ahead and use Mothman. Discards a Cubic King. Okay. Special summons the Mothman. If he gets a spell card, we're just going to Ash Blossom. He's going to link into a Link Karibo. Alright, that's fine. I'm going to set one. He's going to pass, okay. So, oh, that's a nice draw. That's a very nice draw. Okay, so this is actually really good now. So we're going to go ahead and normal summon Stampede. And we're going to use this effect, which is going to summon a Citadel. We're going to summon it. And then we're going to use this as effect, which is going to make both of them level 7. Sorry, level 10. So they're both level 10 now. We're then going to go ahead and make us a Gustav Max. Like so. And we're going to go ahead and use the Gustav Max as effect, detaching this to deal 2k to our opponent. And I feel like... let me read that trap. Can Ash Blossom stop it? Yes, Ash Blossom can stop it. So I feel like I'm just going to go for game here. Well, actually, no, I can't go for game because he's got that. Because he's got the Link Reaver, I can't actually go for game. That's a bit annoying. I think what I'm just going to do is I'm going to go Battle Phase. I'm going to use the Gustav to attack into the Link Reaver to get rid of that. So use the Link Reaver, obviously. Actually, I had the Cooled By. That was a terrible play. That was a very bad play. I had the Cooled By in the grave. If a monster was sent to the graveyard, while this turn, while this card is faced on the field, you can make this card gain 200 attack for each monster with a different name in your graveyard. Okay. So it goes up to 26. That's fine by me, dude. I'm not replaying the attack. We'll go main phase 2 then. And we'll just go ahead and end turn. Because he's got these, sure, but I've got the Ash, I've got the Gustav, so I'm fine with that. I can do another 2k on his turn. I'm pretty confident in this board right now. He uses a... Like... That's just unfortunate. that's just really unfortunate. So I'm just going to banish the Link Reaver because I don't want that coming back. And you're wondering why I changed... If you're wondering why I changed the Cool By, it's because I didn't want him to summon the Dino Miscus from grave. So that's why we did it. This is going to go ahead and link summon into an IP Mask Arena. It's going to attempt to summon one from deck. I will not allow it. And now he's got the Mothman and the IP. Can't really do anything with that. Goes and turns that to defense. Now, can I draw a Machina monster, please? That's not a Machina monster. What am I supposed to do with this? Like, I played that really bad, though, to be honest. But he did have the Dino Miscus, so I guess I didn't play it to the worst. Like, I probably should have just summoned the Rail Cannon. Not the Rail Cannon. The other one. I forgot. I honestly don't remember what it was called. What was it called? Don't put my cards back. And now he's got a free search too. I don't like this. This is not good for me. So he gets the search for free. He gets that. He can go ahead and normal summon it, send another one to the grave to search any cubic monster from his deck. Or cubic card. Yeah, cubic monster. That literally says it there. Someone's cubic vessel. Okay. Sends another one of those to grave. Definitely going to link summon, so we can go ahead and use this to go ahead and special summon another copy of Cubic Vessel. Links into Azura Boros. Okay, that is not good. She's going to banish my fortress. That is very bad. That is very bad indeed for me. You can banish this card, then target one cube monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. Oh, that is not good. I am now in a very... I'm on a clock now. I'm on a clock. We don't want the Ash Blossom. We don't want Ash Blossom. That's 5,200. He's got the Karma in hand. I have to sit the Ash. There's no other options I have. This is just unfortunate. This is really unfortunate. I have to take the Mothman draw as well. That's the worst thing about this. He's going to use the Mothman. We're both going to draw one, and we're both going to discard one. Oh. Well, I discard. I get rid of that. He goes ahead and banishes that. Gets a free card to his hand. Good thing he can't summon that, right? Oh, god, this is terrible for me. I am in a terrible situation. Plus, because of where he's put the Zuroboros, it's not good for me. So he's gonna go ahead and send one to grave. He's gonna send a cubic karma, banish that, get a cubic card to his hand. I don't lose this turn, which is good, but at the same time, it's not a good position at all. So he attacks with that. He's going to take the 200. He's going to take the 200. And I've just got to top deck. There's one card in my deck that gives me the game. Like, only one. So if I draw that, GG. We didn't draw it. I think that just equals game for me now. I don't have any other plays. I'm just going to go ahead and use this. It's going to allow me to add a pointless card to my hand. I just add the possessed storage because I'm going to die anyway. And I literally have nothing else. I have nothing. Like, if I drew the second Pegasus, I would have been able to do things. But we didn't draw it. So it's like, what we're going to do? So we're just going to have to set this. We're going to go battle phase. We're going to kill the Karma there. And if our opponent has any way to summon a monster, he wins. Like, he legit wins if he can summon one monster with literally more than 1,800 attack points. Actually, not even that, with 1,600 attack points. Oh, but if he doesn't, then I can just make a 101, revive the gear frame that he attacks here, and then steal the Zuroboros. So there is that, but we need to draw that card. Like, he needs to not have the monster to summon. And at the same time, he could just go ahead and summon out the big cubic guy. And he sets one. Okay. Okay, we can survive then. So he goes battle phase. How much life points will I be on? It's very important how much life points I'm on after this. So I take 30. I'm on 1,600. We get the Citadel effect now. We'll go ahead and summon the Citadel. Summon it here. This is the comeback. This is the comeback, guys. So he goes end phase, end of battle phase, end of main phase. In the end phase, we go ahead and use Cosmic. Cosmic banish the set card. Super. That's a good card. We drew a Solemn Strike. We're going to go ahead and normal summon our Possessed Storage now. Possessed Storage's effect will go off. We're going to summon back our Gear Frame. Summon it there. We're then going to go ahead and summon out 101. Right? Is there something better that we can summon? No, we summon our 101. And then we're going to use 101's effect, detaching the 2. And we steal the Zuroboros. Okay, so this is the comeback. We go ahead and attack for 51. And we have made some sort of comeback. We have made a comeback here. And we'll go ahead and end turn there. Now, if he draws away to just do anything, he wins. I want to look at his graveyard. I'm calling 4. I hit the 4. Good, good. Like, 4 was just the most logical choice, because I'm pretty sure he has two of the cubic things in the grave. So he goes ahead and uses the spell. What's this do when it's banished? You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one face-up monster your opponent controls, place keep counters on those monsters. Oh, for... Damn it! Okay, so we just need to draw a monster. Just draw a monster. That's next turn. Next turn. Next turn. Actually, why am I saying next turn when we can just go ahead and... do I want to link those two? Is that correct? Nightmare Phoenix. It's the bigger monster. So we go battle phase, and we attack the game. So that was game 1, and that was a long game. That was a really, really long game, but really good game nonetheless. So we'll go to game 2 now. We're putting in the triple vanities. This is just too good not to put in. We'll put in also the 3DD Crow because I feel like it's just really strong here, and we'll put in the Pankratops as well because we'll probably be going second in this, I believe. And what we're going to take out is we're going to take out the 2 Lost Winds. We're going to take out 1 Air Raider. We're going to take out the Scrap Recycler. We're going to take out the Monster Reborn. And the 3 Solemn Strikes, because I think I'm going to go second. And we'll put back in the Air Raider, because I just feel like it's better to have the monster over the Monster Reborn. So let's see what our opponent's going to do. Okay, so we've drawn not the best hand. If we can get out the Vanity's Fiend, it's not bad. If he summons a Vessel, we have the Effect Veiler. Okay, we're going to go straight into the Vanity's Fiend. We're going to go ahead and activate this. We're going to discard the... this is actually a debate. What do I want to discard? I want to keep this. I want to keep this. I can't go for game right now. I think I just discard the Overdrive. So we'll grab a Citadel and we'll grab a Air Raider. And we'll use the Air Raider's effect to discard the Citadel. Summon it in defense. And... does he have a response to that? What does he have? Now he's got 2 set cards. He could have all manner of things. Like, I feel like the Vanity Set Fiend, though, is just the correct play to do right now. Prevent him from summoning cards, and we just win. Oh, this is... Like, I'm a little antsy right now. I'm not sure how this is going to go. Like, you go one way or another, and I'm really worried. Like, it seems that he's thinking. What's he thinking? How can he play this game? How can he go? Where can he go? Oh. What's he got for me? What's he got? Like, he's taking his time. Like, his clock is running down. His clock is certainly running down. He's probably like, should I stop this? Is it worth stopping it? He's gonna Book of Moon it. Well, you, sir, wasted your out. You wasted your out, and you get punished for that. So I'm going to attack with Vanity's Fiend. And I'm going to end turn. So he needs to draw another Book of Moon or something along those lines. Like, he can't special summon now. He's locked out of special summons. He can... Oh, but he did draw a Vessel. So we're just going to... We have to Effect Veiler the Vessel. Like, that's not a debate. That gets Effect Veiler. But it has a Cubic Karma. It's the Karma. It gets him over the Vanity's Fiend. Oh, dude, he had the Karma. Okay. That's a bit peak. But it's fine. It's fine. I feel like I'm still in a good position. So you boost this up permanently to 32, right? It's not until the end of the turn. Yeah. And we drew a Fortress, which isn't bad either. So I feel like what I'm going to do here is I'm going to normal summon this Stampede. I'm going to revive the Citadel. And then we're going to go into that. We're going to normal Stampede. Stampede's effect. We're going to target the Citadel to revive. Ghost Ogre! Are you serious? Oh, dude, he had the Ghost Ogre. You can discard this card. Who's the... Oh, that's... Okay. Okay. It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. It sucks, it does, but it's not the end of the world. So he sets one card. Goes in battle phase. He's obviously going to kill the Citadel. It's like, it's inevitable. Oh, that's really dirty, though. That was dirty. We have an effect we can chain. We can use the Overdrive. I'm not using the Overdrive now. It's not worth to use it right now. That's a very good draw. So what we're going grave now? We've got that. So we're going to start off by normal summoning Gear Frame. We're going to use gear frame's effect. Can he stop the gear frame? It doesn't seem so. So we're going to go ahead and add the possessed storage to hand. And we're going to go ahead and use the irradiator's effect, targeting the possessed storage, or discarding the possessed storage. And we're going to summon the irradiator from the hand. We're then going to go ahead and use the irradiator to pop the gear frame. And we're going to summon the possessed storage from the graveyard. We're then going to go ahead and use possessed storage's effect as Chain Link 1, which is going to target our gear frame. And we're going to use Citadel's effect as Chain Link 2. So we'll summon the Citadel and attack, and we'll summon the possessed storage. We're then going to go ahead and use the possessed storage's effect, which will return this to hand, and we're going to return this set to our opponent's hand, just to get rid of a card on our opponent's board. We're then going to go ahead and summon out our Castel. Okay, and we're going to use Castel's effect, which is going to detach 2 materials, to shuffle this back into the deck. And finally, we're going to go ahead and discard the Irradiator and summon our Fortress. And we're going to go for game. We're going to attack with the Castel first. Then we're going to attack with the Fortress. Now, I'm trying to play around the Vijam. So this is why we're attacking this in this order. We'll attack for 25. And now we'll attempt to attack for game. Is that game? Is that game? Is it game? He's thinking. And that's game. So that was that match. And honestly, against Cubics, that was not an easy match. That was actually kind of hard. I didn't expect it to be that hard against a Cubic deck. But guys, that was the duel section of video. And honestly, that was really, really cool. There was so many times where I was like, this is going to go back and forth. This was really hard. This is like, how do we get past certain things? And that was really good. And honestly, in Sealed Only League, playing against these kind of decks like Cubics is always the best because you know you're on somewhat of an even playing field against these kind of decks. But guys, that was the Sealed Only League episode, guys. I hope you did enjoy, and I hope you did enjoy the entire episode. Like, honestly, this is a lot of fun to make. The Sealed Only League is really, really great, and we're in a new month of the Sealed Only League, so I hope you really did enjoy it, guys. But that is the Sealed Only League episode, guys. Please do not forget to like the video. Getting this video to 100 likes or and getting me a new 100 subscribers really does help as well, guys, for this series as well, because, well, for every 100 likes and for every 100 subscribers, I get an unlock for the series to unlock more products for you guys. So please go ahead and like the video and subscribe to the channel so I can get more subscribers and more unlocks with the likes for the channel as well, and also the series. But guys, tell me what your thoughts are on this segment in the comment section below. Do you think this episode was really, really good? Is there any changes you might make to the Machina deck that I've actually currently got through all the Sealed Only product that we've actually opened? Or is there any suggestions that you might have for product to open in the Sealed Only League? I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below, guys. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Rollback1 signing out. Later all.